Welcome back to the second episode of The Man Died, a prison account of Professor Wole Soyinka. In our first episode, we saw Wole Soyinka standing at the gates of a school, a famous playwright about to become a dead factor in the eyes of the law. Today, we are going to follow him into the heart of the machine. We are going inside the E branch, a modern skyscraper in Lagos that Soyinka himself calls a 6th floor citadel. When Soyinka is brought in for questioning, he doesn't meet a monster with horns. He meets Malam D. D is young, cocky and self-assured. He offers Soyinka local cigarettes and lights them for him. He apologizes that he hasn't had time to read Soyinka's books. This is where Soyinka's analysis gets sharp. He looks at this polite young man and sees what the philosopher Hannah Arendt called the banality of evil. Arendt, writing about the trials of Nazi officials, argued that the most terrifying evil isn't committed by psychopaths but by ordinary people, functionaries who are just following orders or doing their hateful job. Malam D even admits to Soyinka, sometimes we have to do things which we know are wrong, really bad, but this is the setup. While Malam D is being polite, the government is busy building a masterpiece of credible fantasy to destroy Soyinka's reputation. They didn't just arrest him, they framed him. The state released a story claiming Soyinka had confessed to helping the rebel leader Ojukwu purchase jet aircraft for the war. It was a brilliant lie. If the public believed he was buying warplanes for the enemy, they wouldn't care if he disappeared. Soyinka points out that this is how power works. It recreates the truth in its own image. He wasn't there to buy jets. He was there as part of the third force to find a way to stop the killing on both sides. But the most striking image in this episode is what Soyinka calls a human antithesis. Picture this: a modern office in a sleek Lagos skyscraper, 1967. Outside, the city is buzzing with cars and progress. Inside, Soyinka is sitting on a straight-backed chair. Three men enter. They aren't carrying files. They are carrying heavy manacles from a slave trade museum. As they stoop to lock his ankles, Soyinka feels a vivid contradiction. He is a black man being chained by other black men in the heart of a free African nation. He says he felt the weight of racial memory, a connection to every slave march he had ever read about in history books. How do you fight back when you are chained to a chair? Soyinka chooses a Neolithic weapon, his own body. He begins a hunger strike. He doesn't do this to die. He does it to starve his violence into calm. He realizes that if he eats their food, he is participating in their system. By refusing to eat, he takes away their power to provide for him. He tells the guard it's dangerous to feed chained animals. You know, I might get power and snap these trinkets. Before the episode ends, there is one haunting human encounter. A woman, an Igbo suspect, is accidentally shoved into Soyinka's room at night. She is shaking with huge panicked eyes, convinced she is about to be tortured. Then, she looks down. She sees Soyinka's chains. Something incredible happens. Her fear vanishes. She realizes she isn't alone. When she recognizes Soyinka's face, she breaks into tears, not of terror but of shared pain. She leaves the room calmer, stronger, looking back at him to show she is no longer cowed. Soyinka, sitting in his chair, realizes he has drawn strength from her. As we close this chapter of reflection of memory, The polite interrogations are over. The government has its confession and Soyinka has his chains. The E branch is about to spit him out into a much darker place. Next time, on Reflection of Memory, Episode 3, we are going to be looking at the crypt. We will move to Kaduna prison. We will meet the 8-foot tall guard called Polyphemus and enter the tiny cell where the world finally goes silent. Don't forget to join us. I remain your host, Osho Abiodun.